Why did Jesus say the greatest in the kingdom is like a child? Welcome to our exploration into one of the profound teachings of Jesus. The greatest in the kingdom is like a child. Today, we venture to uncover the depth and wisdom behind this statement found in Matthew 18. 4. Jesus' words challenge our conventional understanding of greatness and invite us to embrace qualities that truly matter in God's eyes. To comprehend the significance of Jesus' message, we must start by understanding the context in which he spoke these words. Jesus often used parables and illustrations from daily life to convey profound spiritual truths. In this instance, his audience consisted of his disciples, who were grappling with questions about rank and significance in the kingdom of heaven. Imagine a group of disciples walking with Jesus, possibly engaged in a conversation about who among them is the greatest. Sensing their limited understanding of spiritual greatness, Jesus gently brings a child into their midst. It is within this context that he articulates the powerful truth. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. This declaration served to redefine greatness, shifting the focus from worldly success to spiritual virtues. It called his followers to reevaluate their values and set a new standard for living that aligns with divine principles. To truly appreciate Jesus' revolutionary message, let's step back and examine the concept of greatness during his time. In ancient societies, much like today, success was typically measured by rank, wealth, and power. Greatness was often associated with one's authority, influence, and position within society. These measures created a hierarchical system where humility was often considered a weakness rather than a strength. However, Jesus' teachings presented a stark contrast to this prevailing view. He emphasized qualities like humility, trust, and dependence on God, which were unconventional markers of greatness. Instead of elevating oneself by worldly standards, Jesus called his followers to humble themselves and embrace childlike characteristics. One of the core attributes emphasized by Jesus is humility. Let's delve deeper into what this means from his perspective. Humility, as portrayed by Jesus, involves the recognition of one's limitations and an acknowledgement of dependence on a higher power. It is the understanding that we are all fallible, in need of guidance and grace, rather than believing we can achieve everything by our efforts alone. This humility is not about belittling oneself, but is about placing oneself rightly before God. How do children embody the kind of humility that Jesus speaks about? Let's explore this further. Children naturally exhibit humility as they are conscious of their dependency on adults for care, guidance, and support. This vulnerability is complemented by a lack of pretense or self-importance. Unlike adults, children are generally free from the arrogance that often accompanies knowledge and status. Children approach life openly and without the burdens of pride. Jesus highlights that this form of humility is crucial for those who desire to enter and be considered great in God's kingdom. Humble individuals are positioned to receive wisdom and blessings because they acknowledge their need for divine intervention and guidance. Another vital quality emphasized by Jesus is the complete dependence on God, akin to a child's reliance on their parents. To depend on God is to trust in his providence, timing, and wisdom, realizing that we cannot control everything. It's an invitation to live by faith rather than sight, knowing that God's plans are superior to ours. Children naturally look to their parents for sustenance, protection, and love, trusting implicitly even when they do not fully understand. This implicit trust mirrors the trust Jesus invites us to have in our relationship with God. Trust is an indispensable element of a relationship with God. Jesus calls us to adopt a childlike trust that stands unwavering even amid life's uncertainties. Trust involves reclining on God's promises, believing that He is faithful and capable of seeing us through every circumstance. Like children clinging to their parents' assurance, we are to anchor our trust in the divine. Children exhibit trust by believing in the benevolence and reliability of their guardians. So also, Jesus encourages this simple, pure trust as a model for our faith journey. Being like a child also involves having a pure heart and sincere intentions in our approach to God and life. A pure heart is untainted by malice, deceit, or ulterior motives. It reflects honesty in relationships and interactions, both with God and others. Purity embodies innocence and transparency. Sincerity and genuine intentions create a fertile ground for spiritual growth. It's through pure-heartedness that we can foster a deeper, more meaningful relationship with God. Authenticity and openness are central to building genuine connections with God, akin to a child's interaction with loved ones. Authenticity in our relationship with God involves coming to Him as we are, without pretense or facade. It's the willingness to be vulnerable before God and to foster transparency in our spiritual journey. Practicing authenticity involves regular self-examination, seeking to align our actions and intentions with God's will. Removing barriers that hinder our openness to divine encounters allows for transformative experiences. Now let's examine how Jesus' concepts of greatness contrast with the worldly notions of success. Success is often quantified by accolades, achievements, and material possessions. Prestige is frequently sought after through social rankings, leaving little room for humility and vulnerability. In contrast, Jesus' approach underscores greatness measured by humility, dependence, and trust. Spiritual success involves seeking God's approval over human approval and prioritizing spiritual growth over material gain. How do these teachings translate into practical steps we can take in our daily lives? In a world chasing fame and status, embracing humility might seem counterintuitive, yet it is a path to true fulfillment. Practicing humility can involve being willing to admit mistakes and learn from them, serving others selflessly without expectation of reward, letting go of pride and seeking collaboration over competition. In family and community settings, cultivating trust and sincerity strengthens bonds. Encouraging mutual dependence and support mirrors the kingdom values Jesus promotes. Embracing childlike qualities of humility, trust, and sincerity can lead to a significant transformation in our spiritual journey. As we embody these attributes, we experience an enriched spiritual life characterized by peace, joy, and a deepened relationship with God. The journey is continuous, requiring constant renewal and commitment to personal growth. Recognizing that spiritual growth is not a one-time event, but a journey encourages ongoing learning, adaptation, and spiritual evolution. To conclude, Jesus' teaching in Matthew 18:4 is an impactful call to redefine our understanding of greatness. By highlighting childlike qualities as markers of greatness in God's kingdom, Jesus invites us to embrace humility, trust, and sincerity as foundational attributes in our spiritual endeavors. Let us take this teaching to heart, understanding that our greatness in God's kingdom is not for us to flaunt, but to live in service and faith. By embodying these childlike qualities, we open doors to a life abundant in purpose, connection, and divine fulfillment. We invite you to reflect upon these insights and consider how you can apply them in your life. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Remember, embracing these values can profoundly impact your journey and those around you. Spread the message by sharing this video with friends and loved ones seeking spiritual growth, and let's walk the path of true greatness together.